Hello viewers, in this video I will cover why reference is mandatory in copy constructor, why const is needed in copy constructor. The syntax for copy constructor is class name which takes constant instance of this class as reference parameter. I have used obj as reference variable. You can use your own name. In copy constructor, reference must be used. Without reference, compiler will throw error. Let's remove the reference and verify this. You can see that compiler throws error saying it's an invalid constructor. So we must use reference in copy constructor. But what is wrong with this syntax and why compiler not allowing us to use this syntax without reference? Let's go deeper and try to understand this. Let's call this copy constructor. To perform copy using copy constructor, we need some object to copy. So I will create an object using default constructor. Now that we have the object, let's call the copy constructor. We can either use parenthesis or equal to operator to invoke copy constructor. Now coming back to the problem why compiler not allowed to use copy constructor without reference. The short answer is if we do not use reference, then copy constructor will be called indefinitely, because when we don't use reference, then it is called by value. With call by value, copying is performed internally, which will call copy constructor again and again. The long answer is if we do not use reference, then object1 is passed to object by value. When I say pass by value, it is nothing but object1 gets copied to object. As we need to copy object1 to object, copy constructor will get invoked again. And the same process continues and copy constructor will get invoked again and again. I will also try to explain the same concept in more detailed way. Whenever compiler sees this statement, copy constructor gets called. With this, object1 gets assigned to object. Let's write this down. I'll copy argument from here. As object1 is assigned to object, I will assign object with object1. If you see this statement, it is similar to whatever I have written here. Here, either with or without const, copy constructor will get invoked. Whenever compiler sees this statement, copy constructor is called again, assigning obj1 to obj. Let's write this down. Here obj1 will get assigned to obj whenever copy constructor gets called. So I will assign obj with obj1. With this statement, copy constructor will be called again and this loop continues again and again. This is exactly similar to recursive function. So to avoid infinite call to copy constructor, compiler itself not allowing us to create copy constructor without reference by throwing compiler error. So when we use reference in copy constructor, as the object obj1 is passed by reference and not by value, this problem is avoided. Let's run this program now and check the result. You can see copy constructor gets invoked. Now let's look into why const is needed in copy constructor. In copy constructor, const is not mandatory. Let's remove const and check the output. You can see copy constructor gets executed even without const. But even though const is not mandatory, do not skip const in copy constructor unless you have a good reason to do. In copy constructor, as the argument must be passed by reference, if you do not use const, there is a possibility of accidental modification of original object when creating the copy. Let's see this with example. I will create a member variable and assign it with some value. In copy constructor, let's try to do some accidental change by reassigning this x to some other value. Let's print this variable x and check the output. If you see, the value of x is 10. The value of x in object 1 gets modified to 10 during object 2 creation. To avoid this, we should use const. Let's use const and run the program again. You can see we get read-only error. So I will remove the problematic statement. So using const protects original object from being modified. Now we will summarize all the discussions. In copy constructor, const is needed to prevent modification of original or source object which gets passed to argument. Reference is mandatory in copy constructor which will avoid infinite call to copy constructor. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. To see more videos like this in the future, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.